Well, good morning, good afternoon, and of course, good evening, traders from across the globe. Welcome to my 2842nd edition of Short-Term Trading Live with Oscar. Traders, you know the risk behind this game. If you didn't have stops in today and you were long, forget about risk. You were annihilated. Put your stops in, put them in first. What is on this chart in front of you? Divergence, divergence, divergence. A reckoning must occur. That was in last night's video. In fact, the title of the video was, it's a triple threat on Fed Day. Do not trade Fed Day. Divergence. There must be a reckoning. It has to occur. I will admit I did not expect it to start the very next day after that video. But here is what happened. The divergence I'm referring to in last night's video, if you did not see last night's video, I'm going to leave a link under this one. Watch last night's video and then watch this. You'll completely get this divergence. However, in last night's video, I mentioned that the NASDAQ is going straight up and the transportation average has been going straight down, and that cannot continue. That is called divergence. When it diverges too far, a reckoning must take place, meaning NASDAQ has to come crashing down and transportation average has to drop, but not as quickly, or go up while NASDAQ's coming down, but something has to happen. This is what we looked like in last night's video. This is what happened. The reckoning has begun. Do you see this? Is that not sick? It dropped 837 points, the NASDAQ. The divergence is starting to undiverge. Let me explain. NASDAQ dropped 837 points. Let's go look at another chart. The Dow Jones Transportation Average dropped 454 points. It dropped as well. But look at this. NASDAQ dropped 837 points. Transportation dropped 454 points. That means that the divergence actually has come in by 383 points. Now, I'll tell you, it needs about 4 times that to fix itself. So the 383, we need at least 3 more of those, maybe a little bit more, to get that divergence to come back to normal. So it started, but there is more likely coming our way. Now, when you are looking at something like the Dow Jones, watching it drop like this, and watching NASDAQ drop even faster, you are getting a contraction of that divergence because NASDAQ dropped much faster and much further than the transportation average. Again, it's not enough, and I want you to be careful about something tomorrow. What happened today was the market's really tailspin. What's happening tonight? Emails are going out, phone calls are being made, texts are going out. That is called margin liquidation requirements. Send in your margin money. Sir, would you like me to liquidate your position? No. Sell my gold, sell my soybeans, sell everything else, but hold on to my stocks is what happens. And usually after a day like we've seen on Wednesday, you get forced margin liquidation on Thursday, follow through. So please be careful. You might get follow through in a lot of the markets that dropped today. And almost everything went down today except for the dollar index. So today meaning Wednesday, this video is for trading on Thursday. So we did come in a little bit on that divergence, right? It converged a little, but not enough by any means. Let's go look at another chart. Something else happened today. Traders, the 30-year T-bonds. Jerome Powell lowered rates today, but you know what actually happened today? Rates went up. You go to a bank and ask for a mortgage yesterday compared to today, Jerome Powell lowered the rate by 25 basis points, your mortgage would cost you more. Why? There's a fight going on between the Fed and the street, meaning the banks and the traders and everyone else but the Fed that trades. The Fed has won this fight from 2008 all the way until 2024. Meaning, when the Fed wants to raise rates, bonds drop. When the Fed wants to lower rates, bonds go up. Both things cooperate. What's happened lately is the Fed is lowering rates, but the bond market is dropping too. What does that mean? Well, look right here. This is absolute and inherent fact. Does not matter if Jerome Powell raises rates, lowers rates. It doesn't matter what he does if you follow the 30-year and 10-year bond market. If the 30-year bond market is dropping, rates are going up. That's the way it works. Banks will be charging you more for interest, for mortgages, for everything if bonds are going down. When bonds are going up, interest rates are actually dropping. So, bonds going down means interest rates are going up. Bonds going up means interest rates are going down. Bonds have been dropping. Interest rates have been going up. On Wednesday, Jerome Powell lowered the interest rate by a quarter point, and bonds dropped further than a quarter point practically, meaning they raised the rates anyway. Or at least it's about equilibrium. There was no rate lower. It became equilibrium by the end of today. Why? Once again, when T-bond futures go down, interest rates automatically go up. This is absolute. So let me see if I can move this over so that you can see a little bit more of this chart. Right now, we've got a situation where bonds are absolutely going down. Here, let me just fix that a little prettier for you. Bonds are absolutely going down. Interest rates are going up. That is what happens. So when bonds are going down, interest rates are going up, markets like this start to feel the pain. NASDAQ, S&P, Russell, transportation average, the Dow itself, they'll all feel pain if interest rates are moving up. As much as Powell's trying to move them down, the street is fighting with Powell and forcing rates back up. I have not seen the Fed lose this fight since 2008 when they took over the bond market. It's the first year I'm watching the Fed have trouble with the bond market. Very interesting what's going on there. Then we've got this. Bitcoin traders. Bitcoin, I know it dropped. It hit the 9,000 mark, or just about under 9,000. Excuse me, 109,000. We hit our targets, right? 106 plus, and then the next target was 109. Then I issued new targets, 121,450. Well, the Bitcoin has come down, but if you recall, I've told you in many videos, nothing ever goes straight up. You go up, you come back down. And you go up, and it heads back down. And you go up, and it heads back down. But all Bitcoin has done so far is stay inside of the Oscarism known as the F flag, right? It's gone top of the F flag, bottom. Top of the F flag, bottom. Top of the F flag, bottom. Right now, this is real time as it's trading this moment on Wednesday evening. We're just at the bottom of the flag. In fact, the little dash to the right shows you exactly where Bitcoin is now. That little dash to the right has bounced off this bottom and is all the way up there. So maybe, just maybe, it finds support at the bottom of that bull flag, but I'm not looking for support on Thursday. I'm looking for markets to follow through and get hammered. Bitcoin could be in a world of its own. For now, we're safe with Bitcoin because at least it's staying inside the bullish F flag. If it drops out from underneath it, we'll deal with that when it occurs. Traders, thank you for tuning in. I hope this helps. I hope I shed some light for you. Please be aware that there'll be forced margin liquidation tomorrow. Make sure you like and subscribe to these videos. Share them around the internet. It would help me so much. It would help me help others, and it would help the algorithms on YouTube. So subscribe right now if you don't mind. Like and share. And then remember, keep your stops out. Excuse me. Keep your emotions out of trading. How do we do that? We put our stops in first. We keep our emotions out. Once the stop is in, we say this to ourselves over and over. Are you with me, traders? Say it with me. 1, 2, 3. Stops are in. Emotions are out. Rock and roll, traders. Thank you so much for tuning in. I will see you all at livewithoscar.com. I hope to see you in my free live trading room.